Welcome to Forever Fiction Flicks, where stories come alive. Dive into the world of imagination with Forever Fiction Flicks. Forever Fiction. Chapter 2. The Echoing Depths. Having emerged back into the world above, Emily, Nova, and Elijah took in their surroundings. The streets of San Diego, once teeming with life, now lay in desolate ruin, an eerie quiet broken only by the harsh, irregular gusts of wind. Decaying buildings towered overhead, their skeletal structures bearing the scars of the past, an ever-present reminder of what once was. The city had transformed into a haunting relic of a bygone era, one which they were a part of before the Grumps took over. Armed with their supplies and the resolve to survive, the trio trudged through the remnants of the city. Their destination was a place known to survivors as the Echoing Depths, an expansive network of tunnels and old underground facilities located deep beneath the city. Rumors told of a flourishing community that had supposedly taken up residence there, surviving off the remnants of the old world and defying the constant threat of the Grumps above. It was a place of hope amid despair, a beacon in the dark. The Echoing Depths had become the stuff of legend, and Emily, Nova, and Elijah were determined to find it. Navigating the ruins required caution and a keen sense of direction. Debris lay strewn about, while collapsed buildings and impassable streets frequently forced them to alter their course. Despite the challenges, the group pressed on, their eyes never straying far from the path ahead. One night, as they huddled together for warmth, a faint noise pierced the silence of the night. Emily's ears pricked up, her instincts on high alert. It was a sound they had come to dread, a chilling, echoing moan that reverberated through the empty streets. A moaner was close. Without a moment's hesitation, Emily, Nova, and Elijah sprang into action, their previous fatigue forgotten. Elijah quickly packed their belongings. Nova kept a vigilant watch, and Emily, the quickest among them, took point. As they prepared to make their escape, the dreadful moaning grew louder. They were running out of time. In the face of danger, their camaraderie shone. This wasn't the first time they had faced such a threat, and it wouldn't be the last. Their journey was fraught with danger, but they had each other. They would face the Echoing Depths and whatever else this desolate world had in store for them, together. The buzz of the market gradually faded behind them as Emily, Nova, and Elijah retraced their steps back into the dimly lit tunnels, their haul from the market weighing heavy in their backpacks. Their footsteps echoed ominously through the cavernous space, a chilling reminder of the vast emptiness that enveloped them. Emily was the first to break the silence, her voice barely above a whisper. "We did well today, but we need to plan for tomorrow. There's talk of a surge of ravagers coming this way." Nova's gaze met Emily's. Her brown eyes were full of apprehension, yet her voice was steady. "We have enough ammunition, but we'll need to secure the tunnels. Do you think we can manage that?" Elijah, always the pragmatic one, chimed in. "We'll have to. There's no other option." The echoes of their conversation reverberated around them as they continued their trek through the winding tunnels, their torchlight casting long, distorted shadows on the damp stone walls. The threat of ravagers was always imminent, an invisible specter that hung heavily over their daily lives. Emily felt the familiar tension creeping up her neck. Her vampire instincts were on high alert. The danger was not immediate, but it was coming. As the leader of their trio, it was her responsibility to keep them safe, a responsibility she did not take lightly. As they neared their underground dwelling, they couldn't help but marvel at the resourcefulness of humanity. Ingenious survivors had managed to turn the labyrinth of tunnels and caverns into a somewhat comfortable living space, with each room illuminated by bioluminescent plants that thrived in the damp, dark environment. Emily looked at her companions. The resilience they had shown in these dire circumstances was truly admirable. She felt a rush of gratitude for their unwavering trust and loyalty. It was their unity that gave her hope. They had survived so far, and with careful planning and a little bit of luck, they would continue to do so. Emily's thoughts were abruptly interrupted by the sound of an alarm echoing through the tunnel. The shrill sound cut through the quiet like a knife. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. The surge was here. "Grab your gear," Emily commanded, her voice steel. "Time to face the Ravagers." Nova and Elijah did not hesitate. They knew the drill. As the echoes of the alarm continued to reverberate, they steeled themselves for the battle that was about to ensue. Their hearts pounded in sync with the blaring alarm as they quickly strapped on their gear. Emily grabbed her customized razor-sharp swords, a gift from a past life. Nova, preferring distance, checked the bolts on her crossbow, ensuring they were deadly sharp. Elijah, a former firefighter before the collapse, preferred his trusty, well-worn axe. They had trained for this, prepared for this. They were a unit, a well-oiled machine ready to take on the world, or at least the Grumps. A large metal door, once a part of a forgotten subway system, stood as the only barrier between their safe haven and the monstrous Ravagers. Emily glanced at her companions, their faces stern but determined. "Remember, aim for the head. Take them down quickly and don't let them swarm you," Emily reminded them, a flash of worry crossing her usually impassive face. Nova and Elijah nodded. They understood the gravity of their situation. It wasn't their first encounter with the Ravagers, but the fear never really went away. As they pushed open the heavy door, the smell hit them first. A putrid mix of decay and fetid water, a sickening reminder of the Ravagers' presence. A low growl echoed through the tunnels as a group of Ravagers came into view. The battle was chaotic. Nova's bolts whistled through the air, finding their marks in the skulls of the encroaching Ravagers. Elijah's axe swung with lethal precision, cleaving through any grumps that came too close. Emily was a whirlwind of motion, her blades slashing through the horde with deadly accuracy. Despite the odds, they fought bravely, every kill another step towards survival. It was a dance of death and life they had become all too familiar with, a dance they knew they would continue to perform until the day they drew their last breath. As the last Ravager fell, they found themselves standing amidst a sea of bodies, their heavy breaths echoing through the otherwise silent tunnels. They were survivors, they were fighters, but more importantly, they were a family. And nothing, not even the Ravagers, could break them apart. Their victory, however, was not without cost. Nova had a nasty gash on her arm, and Elijah's face was covered in sweat, his breaths coming in harsh pants. Emily, although appearing unscathed, felt a twinge of guilt. She wished she could have protected them better. But there was no time to dwell on it. They had to regroup, heal, and prepare. After all, there was always a tomorrow in this new, deadly world. And they would face it, together, as they always did. Underneath the streets of San Diego, a new form of life was burgeoning. Amidst the remnants of the city's once thriving subway system, survivors had found refuge, carving a safe haven away from the devastation above. This subterranean existence was far from the comforts of their previous lives, but amidst the Grumps-controlled world, safety was paramount. In these echoing depths, Emily, Nova, and Elijah found each other, their paths converging in this unlikely haven. Despite their varied pasts, Emily, the timeless vampire, Nova, the resourceful engineer, and Elijah, the brave firefighter, their present was a shared struggle. In the labyrinthine expanse below the city, they'd become a family of sorts, bonded by the dire circumstances. As Nova worked meticulously on a salvaged generator, Emily observed her with quiet admiration. Nova's aptitude for repurposing old-world scraps into functional devices had made their underground life a bit more tolerable. Nova's inventive endeavors were often lauded by Emily, yet each compliment was met with a modest chuckle and a dismissive shrug. Nova was merely doing her part in their shared survival. On the other hand, Elijah took to maintaining their provisions diligently. His tasks included stock checks on their food, medicine, and ammunition. Especially given their recent close encounter on the surface, every item was vital. His resilience and tenacity were as much a part of their survival as Nova's ingenuity and Emily's immortal strength. Their routine was abruptly interrupted by the piercing sound of an alarm. The shrill echo reverberated through their subterranean home, an acute reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows. As Emily identified the alarm's cause, a sense of urgency descended upon them. Ravagers were approaching. They had prepared for such an eventuality. As a unit, they moved towards their weapon cache, each member knowing their role in the upcoming confrontation. Their sanctuary was under threat, and they would do everything within their means to protect it. Together.